Good morning, everyone. Superintendent, Mr. Botana, Assistant Superintendent, Mr. Moses, Athletic Director, Mr. Daly, Deering High School faculty and staff, parents, families, and friends, and most important, the class of 2020. Welcome to the 146th Deering High School graduation ceremony. مرحبا وأهلا وسهلا بكم. Soo dhawaada, karibu, خوش آمديد. For the last 4 years, I watched you grow up. You're so unique collectively and individually. And I'm honored, along with Ms. Dame, to be your co-principal. Congratulations, you made it.
Hello and welcome, everyone. You are graduating under unique circumstances and in trying times. The class of 2020 will be remembered in many ways. Years from now, some of you will recall, we didn't have a prom, or we graduated in a parking lot, or we graduated in August, and many other things. In any case, this moment will stand out in our collective memories and in American history. We can't wait to watch the ways in which this historic class will move us from this moment into a more positive future. Now, we'd like to ask the graduates, as they are able, to exit their vehicles for the national anthem.
Hi, I'm Ronald Sanchez, the senior class co-president.
Hi, I'm Gabriel Mbambi, the other senior class co-president. I'd just like to state that going through so much throughout these past months and dealing with the current state of our country, it brings me nothing but joy to see all of you unite here today as a school, community, but most importantly, as a family, to celebrate this huge achievement. You should all be proud, because I know we all are. With that being said, I was gonna have a long introduction for this person, but I'm gonna keep it short. As of right now, I'd like to introduce our first speaker, Ladisius Zeimana.
Thank you, Gabriel and Ronald, for these beautiful and very short introductions. And good morning, class of 2020. I'm honored to be a speaker to one of the most amazing group of people in the world. Today is a day of celebration. We stand here to celebrate our successes and as well as our achievements after 4 long years of hard work and resilience through numerous hardships. We're not only here to celebrate our successes, but we're here to also celebrate our failures, rejections, and the lessons that come with it. But before we dive through all of this, it's very important that we acknowledge the people that have shaped us into who we are and what we have achieved today. You know, what plays a big role in our education is the environment in which we learn, and especially the people around us. They are people that worked hard day and night to ensure that we had what we need to prosper. Thus, I present my gratitude to our educators, mentors, and our friends for creating a system of support that has allowed us growth and self-discovery. I want to present my personal gratitude to Miss Bright for seeing something in me that I did not. Mr. Dodge for always having a space for me in his class. Mr. Nichols for putting the tools of the tech team at my disposal and for being patient with me after I undertook a million project. And Mr. Nichols, you have yet to convince me that I'm Irish. To Mr. Cronin, for the infinite amount of support and sacrifice that you've always put into assisting the multilingual and multicultural students and showing them the possibility that lies beyond. Leah and Julia, I haven't forgotten about you. Thank you for making Make It Happen where dreams come true and where your effort and generosity is limitless. There's a lot of names that I haven't mentioned because of the shortness of time, such as Miss Bean for feeding us with knowledge, Miss Platt for constantly checking on my well-being, Mr. Boland for a wonderful computer science class and also being available to respond to my questions, to Miss Hazelton for being an amazing counselor, guidance counselor this past 4 years. These words of gratitude goes to all the members of the faculty, for you have all done this work. Your impact does not end here, for you have shaped and inspired leaders that will change the world in all forms of life through the knowledge and wisdom that you have transmitted to us. I don't believe that words will be enough in expressing my gratitude. However, through every good deeds that we do to inspire and change, we will mirror and transmit the legacy you have created. Thank you. Now, my fellow classmates, I want to commend you for the work that you've done, not only getting your diplomas today, but being the change you want to see in your communities and beyond. You are the leaders and advocates of tomorrow, but not only tomorrow, but from the moment you started to act on pursuing justice, equality, and equity. Sometimes people say, Ladi, you're a great leader, but I don't see that. I was just a follower who was inspired by all of you to pursue change. That is why I say you are the leaders, for you have shaped me and everyone else in our class through deeds you may have not noticed. That is why you should remember everything you do has an impact and recognize that power. And as we part our ways today, let it not be the last time that we hear from one another, but through striving for greater ideals and through the great deeds that we have been doing and shall continue to do, let us hear from one another. I find it parallel how we have 4 classes a day and go out of school to utilize our knowledge. to how we have 4 years of high school, then leave to also utilize that same knowledge. The last 4 years were a time to be sculptured, to be formed and be formed to revolutionize the world outside. I pray you always have a spirit of continuous learning and that you don't forget your roots. I know some may be saying, well, Adi, I really never liked that class and I don't think it's going to be useful outside of school. But let me tell you that the fact that you are able to discern what you like and not, what you stand for and not, what to strive for or not, is one of the greatest lessons that you'll ever learn. And let that be a light to guide you in whatever pursuit you undertake and whatever ideal you strive for. As you live today, strive to make the world a better place. For if you look through you, these last 4 years didn't go in vain. And your diploma or where you're going to college or whether you're going to college or not will not be the determining force of your achievement. However, success will be determined by how resilient you are in the face of adversity and the difference you make in the lives of those around you. Lessons are learned in the simplest form, and it is crucial to be attentive to that. Sometimes there are crosses we need to carry by ourselves, but the question to ask oneself should be, is it necessary that I walk alone? Give me a place to stand, and I'll move the world, Archimedes said. So as you leave today, I want you to know that you have the power to move the world. And don't let anyone tell you otherwise. As you leave today, know that we provide our shoulders for you to stand on. In whatever walk of life you shall walk, and whatever change you need to accomplish. Never get off your dreams, my dad told me. So I charge you to be the light in this world and guide with might. Thank you, class of 2020.
Next up, I would like to invite Superintendent Javier Botana.
Good morning and welcome to everyone, graduates, school and district staff, family and friends. I'm so glad we can all be together today in this beautiful outdoor setting. I've been speaking at our commencement ceremonies for 4 years now, ever since you were freshmen and I was in my first year as Portland Public Schools Superintendent. There is no other tradition that I cherish as much as celebrating our graduates for their accomplishments as they set off on this exciting new chapter of their lives. This year holds a special meaning for me because the class of 2020, your class, is the first class that I've seen through to graduation. However, as you know, this year is anything but traditional. This is Deering High School's 146th commencement, but it's also this school's first and hopefully last drive-in graduation. None of us would have predicted this 4 years ago or even just 6 months ago, but the COVID-19 pandemic has dictated that it be so. I know how deeply disappointing the last few months of your senior year have been for you. You missed out on many cherished rituals that you've been looking forward to for 4 years, and you had to wait 2 months longer than you usually would just to celebrate your graduation in this unconventional way. Still, we will make every effort to accord all of Deering's 230 graduates the pomp and circumstance that you richly deserve. We're very proud of you, class of 2020, not only succeeding in graduating from high school, but for the way in which you have conducted yourselves during this unprecedented time. Desmond Tutu, former South African Archbishop, human rights activist, and Nobel Peace Prize winner, said, "A time of crisis is not just a time of anxiety and worry. It gives us a chance, an opportunity to choose well or choose badly." Members of the class of 2020, you clearly have chosen well. You have done your best despite the difficult circumstances imposed by this crisis and the fear and worry we've all had about the health and safety of our loved ones and ourselves. You've proved yourselves to be resilient. Let me give a few examples of your efforts. It was a major adjustment for you when our school suddenly shut down in March and began a forced experiment in remote learning. But you rallied and you ended up successfully completing your coursework and making it to graduation. Congratulations. This year, 11 members of your class are graduating with STEM diploma endorsements that recognize your extensive work in this science-oriented fields that are essential to 21st learning success. Congratulations to all of those students for developing their knowledge and skills in those important areas. This is the third year that some of our students are graduating with a seal of biliteracy. This shows that they've attained mastery of English and at least one other language. This year, 18 students have earned Seal of Biliteracy awards. Your language skills, I know, will help make you attractive to many employers in this global world and will help you to maintain relationships and be able to reach across those relationships. Deering High School graduates, you've distinguished yourselves in many other ways. Your achievements are too numerous to list by name, and I would end up leaving someone out who deserves great credit. But over the past school year, your accomplishments extended to every area of the school, including academics, athletics, and co-curricular activities. COVID didn't stop you from being a standout class. About 3/4 of your class applied to college. Members of this class have been accepted at 112 institutions of higher learning, including great colleges and universities all across the country and in Maine. You have won hundreds of thousands of dollars in scholarships and grants, and that's a credit to you. Your class has also made its mark outside of school. Many of you have been active in demonstrations to protest the disproportionate violence against Black Americans by police in our country. You also have been speaking out about systemic racism and the impact of injustice and inequality in all aspects of life, including in our schools. And your class rose to the occasion last summer when Deering was mischaracterized. Your voices at the time, in letters to the editor and interviews, was significant. But more importantly, what you did to clarify what Deering stands for and make sure that the next class of students would see Deering as the amazing institution that it is was what was really impressive. I feel proud and fortunate to have had the opportunity to learn from thoughtful young advocates like yourselves. Your work was clear evidence of the caliber of Deering graduates. Your class also put aside your disappointment about not being able to have a traditional graduation ceremony and instead worked creatively with our staff to plan this alternative ceremony today. Thank you for following the safety guidelines around this event so that everyone receives their well-earned diplomas today in a joyful and safe way. Our goal as a school district is to prepare and empower you for what is next. Seeing what I see in this class, I am confident that we have met this goal. Now, let's take a moment to acknowledge some of the other people who have helped you to get here. Behind every student's success are the people that have supported you in the journey. Let's recognize the Deering High School administrators, teachers, and all of the other school staff who have helped to get you where you are today. And also, please take time to thank family members and other supporters who have nurtured and encouraged you in your education. Last but not least, our gratitude goes to our Board of Public Education and our City Council and Mayor for their staunch support of the Portland Public Schools, and also thank you to the city and the city staff for making this venue possible for this occasion. One thing the pandemic has taught us is that life can change in a moment. However, as poet and civil rights activist Maya Angelou said, quote, "The horizon leans forward, offering you space to place new steps for change," end quote. I believe that you, members of the class of 2020, already know this. You have shown great resilience in the face of unprecedented change to reach this point in your educational career. Whatever you set out to do next, this trait will help you to accomplish it. I look forward in the future to seeing you create new steps toward positive change for a better society and world. Keep true to your values and dreams, and I know that your accomplishments will be many and they will be great. I will end, as has become a tradition for me in the last 4 years, wishing you well in a variety of the languages spoken by our graduates. Wapoyo yele, felicitación, hambalio, felicitaciones, parabéns, zin, jumung, somab, arsato, mubarak, lakum, nayahokum. Congratulations.
Hello again, everyone. A sometimes tradition at Deering High School is to yield the principal's speaking time to a student. This year, that tradition seems particularly appropriate. Across the country, youth are finding their voice and asserting a vision of a better future. Deering is no exception. This year, Dr. Ahmed and I have decided to yield our time to Salam Desta, a member of the 2020 class. Salam is the Public Forum Debate State Champion. She is a National Honor Society member, varsity lacrosse player, and a community organizing intern for Maine People's Alliance. She embodies the Deering ideal of a local leader and a global citizen. Without further ado, we welcome Salam Desta.
Hi everyone, so I wanted to talk to you about this day in history and why it's important to me. 55 years ago today, the Voting Rights Act of 1965 was signed into law. After the Civil War, the 15th Amendment was ratified, which was supposed to give black men the right to vote. But racists in our own government did not want black people to have political power. They instead installed discriminatory laws to prevent black people from voting, such as literacy tests, fees, and voter ID laws. Black people fought against these laws for nearly 100 years. On February 18, 1965, white supremacists attacked a group of peaceful protesters. 13 people died and 15 were injured. In response to this horrific act of terrorism, many young black people, including Martin Luther King Jr. and Representative John Lewis, planned a march from Selma to Montgomery. You see, in Selma, 2% of eligible black voters were able to register to vote. So they marched. For 54 miles, they were tear gassed, they were whipped, and they were beaten, yet they marched. And after Bloody Sunday, and after they marched, it started to work. People started to listen. And for the first time, President Lyndon B. Johnson outlined to Congress the ways election officials would deny black people the right to vote. 4 months later, on August 6th, the Voting Rights Act of 1965 was signed into law. Now, this was a momentous day for the civil rights movement. However, voting rights still remain a pressing issue for our youth of color. 55 years later, America disproportionately targets and arrests minorities. Black people comprise 74% of those imprisoned for drug possession, and there are more incarcerated black people today than were enslaved in 1850. Think about that. There are more black people in prison today than there were black slaves at the start of the Civil War. And once you're sent to prison, you are stripped of your rights in many states. Today, 80% of the black men in Chicago are felons. 80% are legally discriminated against in public housing, education, and employment. 80% of the black men are unable to vote for change in their own communities. This is why it is so important for you to vote. Voting means power. Voting allows every citizen to impact issues that they care for: racial justice, climate justice, women's rights. If voting didn't matter, then white people wouldn't try to stop us from doing it. Youth can be one of the most influential voting blocs in our election this fall. Dating proves that we have power. If we look at the 2016 presidential election in New Hampshire, the youth gave Clinton 12,000 votes, and she won that race by less than 4,000 votes. In Nevada, Clinton beat Trump by 26,000. 35,000 of those votes she received were from the youth. If voter turnout rates were higher for ages 18 through 24 in 2016, Clinton would have won Arizona, Florida, Georgia, and Michigan, making her president. No matter what your political beliefs are, you have to recognize that our youth makes a significant impact on our elections. And even if that doesn't want to make you vote, think about the people who got you your right to vote. Whether that be the activists who died on Bloody Sunday or the suffragettes who fought and died for the women's right to vote. Also, think about the 6 million felons today who cannot vote. Vote for them. Civil rights icon John Lewis once said, quote, "The vote is the most powerful nonviolent tool we have," end quote. If we want justice for Breonna Taylor, if we want justice for George Floyd, if we want justice for Ahmaud Arbery, and sadly many, many more, we have got to vote for people who also want this same justice. Right now, voting is the pathway to racial equity. Black votes and Black Lives Matter. Thank you.
That was crazy. Thank you, Salam. And next, I'd like to invite to the stage our class salutatorian, Glynis O'Meara.
Hello, class of 2020. Good morning and congratulations. I've had a lot of time to think about what I wanted to say in this speech, and at the end of the day, I knew that this speech wouldn't matter unless I said something really important. And it's not really something that's going to fit with today's celebration, but I want to talk to you all about somebody who doesn't get to graduate this year. His name was Tamir Rice. He lived in Cleveland, Ohio, and loved playing football and spending time with his mom. When he was 12 years old, he was shot and killed by police while playing in a public park. As he fell to the ground, his 14-year-old sister rushed forward to help him, and the police tackled and detained her before even attempting to give Tamir first aid. He was in the graduating class of 2020. And I tell you this story because Tamir's story isn't an anomaly. And neither is the story of Breonna Taylor or George Floyd or Rayshard Brooks or any of the other names we've learned, because we know they're joined by countless names we never got to hear. The time to debate the facts of police brutality is over. The data shows us that 1 in every 1,000 black men in America will die at the hands of the police. And a black American is 3 times more likely to be shot at the hands of the police than their white counterpart. But the racial disparities don't begin and end with direct police violence. Black Americans are more likely to be arrested, more likely to be convicted, and when convicted for the same crimes, given substantially longer average prison sentences than white Americans. 1 in 3 black men born in 2001 can expect to go to jail in their lifetime. 2001. That's when a lot of us were born, right? This is our problem. This is our issue. And the issue isn't confined to the criminal justice system. In fact, racism is foundational to every facet of our society. Racism is entrenched in the American education system when the SAT, a test written by white supremacists for the purpose of giving white people higher scores, is still an essential part of college admissions. Racism is entrenched in the hospitals that consistently ignore the pain of black and American Indian women, resulting in those women being 200 to 300% more likely to die of preventable pregnancy conditions. Racism was entrenched in the housing policies of the 30s and 40s and 50s when redlining allowed white families to buy homes and build generational wealth that other families couldn't. And racism is still entrenched in the wealth gap that created. The average white net worth of a white family today is 10 times higher than the average net worth of a black or Hispanic family. Racism is entrenched in a country where black people are 2.5 times more likely to die of COVID-19, and racism is entrenched in a state where black Mainers are 20 times more likely to be infected with COVID. And it is racism that ultimately leads the average lifespan of a white person born in 2001 to be 5 years longer than a black person born on the very same day. Now, I know a lot of you experience racism every day, and it's unconscionable that you have to sit through this conversation all over again. But to everyone else, I say, we have work to do. You cannot deny this society was designed for white people. Everything down to the graduation caps that I easily fit over my hair this morning at the same time graduates with 4C hair were wrestling with bobby pins just to get on their heads. The very symbol of American education can't even fit over the hair of lots of black women. White graduates, white parents, white aunts and uncles and cousins and guests, I'm talking to you. You can't hear these statistics and think everything is fine. We know this system was rigged for our benefit. That's why we have the moral obligation to act. We need to seek out resources and learn the things high school never taught us. We need to show up on election day and on every other day. We need to uplift and support movements led by black voices. We cannot be silent or neutral or anti-racist only when it's convenient, because we know racism is deadly, and I know every single one of you would rather go to a protest than a funeral. And I know this can all feel very overwhelming. But to every graduate today, I submit the last message from the immortal John Lewis, who tells us that ordinary people with extraordinary vision can redeem the soul of America. Go forth from this ceremony not with despair, but with renewed courage and an extraordinary vision of what we can achieve. This is a fight we have to devote ourselves to, but it's a fight we can win, and there will come a day when a class can graduate high school without any names missing. It's time for us to redeem the soul of America. Thank you.
Thank you, Glynis, for the powerful message. Next, I would like to invite to the stage our class valedictorian, Sarah Riggins.
Hello, everyone. I am so glad I can be here today looking at all your cars smiling up at me. Truly, I want to say a huge congratulations to each and every person here today, the Deering High School class of 2020. We did it. For our friends and family who are here, thank you for your support through the years. It all mattered. To the speakers before me, great job, and thank you for what you've said and said so well. Last but not least, I want to give a huge thank you to the teachers and staff who have guided us through high school and made the best out of these past few months. Today, I wanted to talk about a lesson I have struggled to learn throughout high school: being okay with asking for help. Individual struggle and perseverance are valuable and important qualities, but so is asking for help when you need it. It's one thing to try to figure things out yourself, like math problems, even though there were plenty of times I could have used help on those. But it's another thing when you are at a loss or the problem is bigger than any one person. This brings me to what I want to talk about today, the time my empty car rolled down a hill and into a swamp. I was in a rush and left the car in neutral instead of putting it in park. While I was in the building, the car rolled backwards across a parking lot, down a hill, and into a swamp. I was notified when a police officer told me to come outside, and I saw my parents' car at a 45-degree angle and half submerged in the muddy, smelly muck behind the parking lot. I was horrified. Wanting to fix this on my own, I climbed through the swamp and into the car. I floored the gas pedal. The car didn't move. I got back into the muck and tried to push the car up the hill. I realized that I couldn't solve this on my own, so I called my mom and a tow truck. With the tow truck operator's equipment and skills, 3 hours later, the car was finally out of the swamp, and I drove it home, trailing cattails and mud behind me. This is an example of a small problem that, with the right tools and the right people, had a simple solution. I recognize, however, that many of the problems we face now, in our communities, our nation, and our world, are much larger, much more complex, and with unclear solutions. We face racial, socioeconomic, and gender-based inequalities, the looming threat of climate change, a global pandemic, and challenges to our democracy. But Queen Elizabeth II said it well: whatever life throws at us, our individual responses will be all the stronger for working together and sharing the load. She's right. I needed my mom and the tow truck driver to get out of the swamp. We'll need all of us to solve these far bigger challenges. We'll need everyone's wisdom. We'll need to focus on what unites us and not what divides us, and we'll need hope. We need all of us because each of us has and will continue to develop different life experiences and perspectives that give us insights and different types of wisdom. We need to continue educating ourselves from others' lived experiences so we can work together to solve systemic injustices. Secondly, we need to find common ground even as we disagree. We are all a part of a connected world. We need to listen to each other to understand how we affect and are affected by the systems that create inequality, climate change, and political power. Each of these issues is so large, and within them, we can find shared goals and work towards them together. Third, we all need hope. Many of us are not happy with the world we are living in, and the roadmap to change is unclear. Hope makes the impossible possible. Sometimes it will be hard to remain hopeful, but don't give up. Rest when you need to, find segments of goodness, even small ones, and let hope back in. We as the class of 2020 have the diversity of thought and experience and the collective drive to make our communities more equitable and to make our planet and each other happier and healthier. Class of 2020, congratulations. Now let's go do it. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. Let's hear it one more time for those beautiful speeches. With that being said, when you look around, realize that we are in a year of change. My fellow peers, with such many different perspectives, very diverse group. We, 2020, this class of 2020, understand that we have the ability to pass a torch to other generations to induce further change by changing things ourselves. So really look down at your sashes and believe that we are truly change makers. And to finish this off, let's now go on to the class song brought to us by Mr. Stofan. Thank you.
Congratulations to the class of 2020. And we also want to say thank you to the Portland Fire Department for adding their own celebratory flair and coming to us to congratulate you as well. Now, the time has come for graduates to receive their diplomas. When you hear over the radio to exit your car, come line up by the purple table at the end of the ramp. When you hear your name called, walk across and receive your diploma. Don't forget to stop at the end of the stage to have your photo taken. And please do take your mask off for the photo. When everyone in that group has returned to their cars, those cars will exit and everyone else can move up. At that point, your family has a choice. You can find a comfortable air-conditioned place to celebrate with your family, or you may circle back if you wish. All right, without further ado, I hand it over to Miss Dixon and Miss Dixon, who will help us from here forward.
Thank you, Miss Dame. At this time, we invite graduates in the first 2 rows of parked vehicles to exit their vehicles and come line up to receive your diplomas. Okay, thank you. We're ready to start. Glynis O'Mara.
Alexander Sim.
Brianna McCarthy. Sarah Riggins.
Gabriel Mbambi. Clinton Lubangula Shumbusho.
Ronald Sanchez. Cole Martinson.
Just wait till you hear my name. I know your name. Oh yeah, I know that.
Samuel Sparks.
Kyle Nelson. Charlie Scalia Bruce. Adelina Homewood.
Adriana Light.
Kiara King.
Jessica Dang.
Noah McLeod. Thank you very much. At this time, we'd like to ask the first two rows of cars to exit the parking lot And the next 2 rows to pull up to the front, please. As cars pull up, everyone is invited to pull up 2 spaces. At this time, we invite the next 2 rows of graduates to line up to receive their diplomas.
Kayla Nguyen.
Aaliyah, whoops. Aaliyah Farrar. Riley Rialt.
Alex Thomas.
Tyler McAllister. Delaney Weimert.
Delina Nguyen.
Livia Sarapa.
Charlotte Colson. Salam Desta.
Sydney Walsh. Chauncey Alado. Jonathan Beliveau.
Ayan Aden.
Paul Keffer. Ella Myers. Congratulations, graduates. At this time, we ask the first 2 rows of cars to exit the parking lot and the next 2 rows to pull up to the front, please. Right here. How are you guys? I just said, how are you guys? At this time, could graduates in the first 2 rows of cars please exit the cars and line up to receive your diplomas?
Mariah Carpenter.
Kyle Hebert. Darcy Lally. Tegan Halsey.
Lily Russell.
Aiden Reed. Elizabeth Drellick.
Cassandra Kratzer.
Argelis Garcia.
Alexis McNally.
Noor Jaber.
Ladislas Nzeimana.
Ada DeYeno.
Kiana Lee.
Daniel Rodriguez Alvarez. Conrad Gabriel. At this time, could the first two rows of cars please exit the parking lot? And we invite all the other cars to pull up 2 rows. At this time, we invite graduates in the first 2 rows of cars to line up at the ramp. Thank you. Donnell Brown.
Diana Huynh.
Alyssa McRae.
Arista Shapova.
Andrew Patton. Antonio Chico Mancini.
Anthony Lang.
Emily Pye.
Victoria Cavallero.
Taja Wilkins.
Jackson Harbaugh. Kaya Gatchell.
Samuel Fisher. Natalie Wooten.
Dominic DeMillo.
Natalie Espinal.
Miss Bright is picking up a diploma for Owen McLaughlin, who is already at University of Pittsburgh for swimming.
Congratulations, graduates. We invite the first 2 rows of cars to now exit the parking lot, and everyone can pull up 2 rows. At this time, we invite the first 2 rows of graduates to line up to receive their diplomas. And just a reminder, please, if you exit your car to take a photograph, you must be wearing a mask. And we ask you to stay toward the back of the empty area and not approach the stage. But please make sure you have a mask on if you're getting out of your car. Graduates, come on up to the table.
Alyssa Lopez. Galen Carey.
Rihanna DeVoe.
Mia Sargent.
Will Vashon. Angelo Legaspi.
David Musabwa.
Sophia Olori.
Jesse Kamalandua. Percy Khalid.
Just wait till I say it. Sophie Galen.
Elijah Johnson. Bridget Brown.
Stephen Brennan.
Eddie Roberts.
Thank you. At this time, the first 2 rows of graduates can exit the parking lot and everyone can pull up 2 rows. Thank you. At this time, we invite the graduates in the first 2 rows of cars to come line up at the purple table in the corner.
Michael Randall.
Hope Carroll. Samuel Gamar. Sumatra Sam.
Aaliyah Murph.
Chloe Delano.
Claire Sheehy.
Joseph Lancia. Benjamin Terrio.
Iris Teta. Daryl Germain.
Kaya Isahar.
Akwal Majak.
Hello. Surprised I made it here.
Payson Harvey.
Tyler Gogan.
Thank you. The first 2 rows can now exit the parking lot. And all the cars can pull up 2 rows. Just a reminder again, please, if you exit your car, please put on a face mask. No, we have either. I'll just put in the back end if he's not there.
At this time, we invite the next 2 rows of graduates to exit their vehicle and line up by the ramp.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks. Vayan Shija. Sahar Habibzai.
Just wait till I say it. Just wait till I say it.
Namaku Elizabeth Muana. Paul Logogone. Bandayo Bandayo.
Nicholas Davis. Marlena Hatem.
Rachel Hall.
Nova Grant. Rachel Party.
Janella Marie Ridge. Chilang Leah.
Gianna Charest. Neri Eam.
Ayub He.
Bailey 80.
Christian Harmon.
If the cars could wait a moment before moving, we're just trying to clear some people out of the exit. Once the exit is clear, cars can start exiting the parking lot. The first 2 rows of cars can exit the parking lot, and the next 2 rows can pull up. Thank you.
We now invite the next 2 rows of graduates to exit their vehicles and line up beside the stage. Abdil Rauf Mohammed.
Charlene Butera.
Braden Bryce. Kadro Yukash.
Tyler Day. Jason Pichette.
Abdiaziz Mohammed. What? The mic? Sunday Ntoto. Mukhtar Mohammed.
Aviana Kim. Elizabeth Labby.
Abdul Qadir Dahir.
Hannah Turcott.
Doa Albayati. Riyad Ahmed. Abbas Mohammed. Travis Soul. Omed Habibzai.
Reagan Toppin.
Melian Bora.
They can't hear it. It's only on the radio. It's only on the radio.
Nicolas King.
Dahlia Tucker. Dominic Russo. Daniela Ariai. Sodaba Ariai.
Sandra Don. Kien. River Dufour.
Aiden Maurice.
Joseph Chadbourne.
Natasha Hooks.
Nick Bessa.
Adair Emmons. Mohammed Noor.
Just a reminder to folks that this is being broadcast on your radio, but not amplified. So if you exit your car, you will not be able to hear us announce the names. Okay, if the first 2 rows of cars could please exit the parking lot. And everyone can pull up 2 rows.
We now invite the graduates in the first 2 rows to line up beside the stage. Sonia Ngongo.
Jacqueline Majano Alvarez.
Ishmael Mahmood. Fatima Haji. Cheyenne McMahon Dumont.
Benjamin Brown.
Angel Mugizi. Diana Aboda. Yasmin Ido.
Brandon Ballard. Ruth Ham. Jacob Irwin.
The first 2 rows may now exit the parking lot, and the remainder of the vehicles may move forward. The graduates of the next 2 rows may now exit their vehicles and line up beside the stage.
we're going to call your name, and then you walk up, grab a diploma, take a photo, leave. Mm-mm. Yes.
Emmanuel Biacho.
Max Morioni.
Saeed Jelle. Abdul Kadir Mohamud.
Sarah Ali.
Divine Lange.
Jessica Ross. Celia Sanaguarai Upaya.
Sharon Abe. Amanda Bowe.
Jada Griffiths.
Ariana Heek. Eunice Vidal.
Okay, we're gonna go with everybody that's left, and bring up their own card. Every single person that's left that hasn't got a diploma bring up their own card.
Okay. But 2 rows? But 2 rows?
No,
Two-
not everyone.
Everyone's gonna get. So we should say everyone all come.
I can do that.
I'm gonna talk.
Okay. Congratulations to the recent graduates. Please exit the parking lot now. At this time, we are going to ask the remaining rows of cars to move up. Please grab the white card on your windshield. Well, just move up. We're going to ask everybody in the remaining cars to move up. Thank you to the remaining cars for pulling up. We're going to change things up a little bit for this last group, so listen carefully, please. Could all remaining graduates exit their vehicles? Please grab the white name card on your windshield and come line up, and then I will collect the cards once you're in line. So all remaining graduates, seniors waiting to graduate, exit your cars, grab your name card from your windshield, and come line up, please.
Yeah. Want this?
Oscar Hussein. Abdisalan Mohammed. Mustaf Mohammed.
Matteo DeMucci. Destiny Bridges.
Josiah Cope. Feza Wembo. Richard Mutuare. Muna Mohammed.
Yola's here, but this is going to be the last person.
Sumail Shaib.
Thank you. It's the last kid.
Tim, I need the card. Put this in front of Abu.
Prise Josephine. Yeah, Prise. Diana Ihozo. Sean Dunn. Wait, Isaac, wait, Isaac, Isaac Mpia. Daniela Sondo. Elizabeth Nasazi. Caitlin Duraco. Yola Nzuzi. Naomi Futila Buka. Monica Kinanga. Abubakar Abu. Godan Bernard Daishimiye. Domingos Nzuzi. Thank you very much for coming. Congratulations to the class of 2020.